So Mr. White had received the paw from Sergeant Major Morris, and with that paw he wanted to wish for something, but the mother and the son could not believe this idea, and they were rather in a joking tone pointing out that how innocent he was to believe that monkey's paw would fulfill his wish. Again, Herbert suggested that he should wish for 200 pounds so that the loan of the house would be cleared, and that would make him happy. And then they were in a casual mood, everyone, and Mr. White took the paw and he was thinking he would whether he would wish for something or not. So this is the fourth part of the story. I wish for 200 pounds, said the old man distinctly. So in a clear voice, the old man said that he wanted 200 pounds. A fine crash from the piano greeted the words, interrupted by a shuddering cry from the old man. So suddenly Howard made a long noise in the piano, and interrupted means suddenly it was cut between by a very shuddering cry. By a very shuddering cry means by a very afraid, scaring cry from the old man. Old man was just trembling with fear. His wife and son ran towards him. It moved, he cried, with a glance of disgust at the object. It lay on the floor. He said that it moved. Why? And he, with a glance of disgust, means he was becoming very much disgusted, very much disappointed. He looked at the object and it was lying on the floor. What happened? Because he was afraid and he had let it go. It had fallen down from his hand. As I wished, it twisted in my hand like a snake. So as he wished, what happened? That thing, just the monkey's paw twisted, means like this in his snake. Well, I don't see the money, said his son as he picked it up and placed it on the table. He said that he did not see any kind of money because he thought as soon as the wish would be done, money would come down from the sky or money would be arranged for some water. When she made a fun, he said that you have wished, but I could not see any money. Means I cannot see any money. It must have been your fancy, father, said his wife, regarding him anxiously. So in a worried manner, he said that it was your imagination. He shook his head. Never mind though. There's no harm done, but it did give me a shock. So he said, okay, we don't, means they did not have to mind anything because there was no harm done, nothing harm to be done, but it gave him a shock. They sat down by the fire again. Outside the wind was higher than ever. They sat down by the fire again, and then outside the wind was higher. A silence settled upon all three, which lasted until the old couple rose to retire for the night. So silence, they were all silent because a sudden happening took place and a very rather a scary thing happened. So they just settled upon all the three, and they lasted for some time, and the old couple then went back to their room at night. I expect you will find the cash tied up on a bag in the middle of your bed, said Hubbard, as he had been. He bade them good night. I expect that you will find the cash tied upon in a big bag in the middle of your head. So he thought that he would find Hubbard again made fun and said that he expected Mr. White to find out the bag in the middle of his head, of his bed rather, and he just bade him goodbye, they bade farewell, and they went away. He sat alone in the darkness, gazing at the dying fire for a while, and then he went to bed. So he was very sad, alone in the darkness. He was looking at the fire, which was about to be extinguished for a while, and then he went to bed. The next morning at breakfast, he laughed at his fears. So the next morning, what happened? He laughed at his fears. There was an air of prosaic wholesomeness about the room, which it had lacked on the previous days. So a very commonplace atmosphere usually remained in the room, about the room every time, every day. But last night it was very much absent. Now it had again returned, a very natural atmosphere of the sitting room. And the dirty, shriveled little paw was pitched on the sideboard with a carelessness which betokened no great belief in its virtues. So that dirty, shriveled, dried little paw was kept just on the sideboard, and with a very carelessness which showed that they were not really they had any great belief in its powers or great virtues. I suppose all soldiers are the same, said Mrs. White. The idea of her listening to such nonsense. So Mrs. White condemned that all means the soldiers usually have the habit of telling such imaginative stories. So they are all the same. how could wishes be granted in these days? So how could wishes be granted in these days? And if they could, how could 200 pounds hurt you, father? So if they could, then how could 200 pounds would hurt him, father? Might drop in on his head from the sky, said the frivolous Herbert. So he said that it might drop from the sky, said frivolous Herbert. So Herbert was in a joking mood. He said like that. Ma'am, Morris said the things happen so naturally, said father, that if you might, you would be, if you wished, attribute it to coincidence. So he said that Morris had already told that things happen very naturally, in a very casual manner, and in such a way it happened that everyone would think that it had been a series of incidents. Well, don't break the money before I come back. So he said that, well, you should not break the money before I come back, said Herbert as he rose from the table. I am afraid it will turn you into a mean man, and we shall have to disown you. So if you would open the bag of the money, what would happen? You would become very greedy, and you would be becoming a very bad man, mean man, and we would not be able to accept you. So this was a sort of funny remark made by Herbert. His mother laughed and following him to the door, because Herbert was going away to office. His mother followed him to the door, watched him down the road, and returning to the breakfast table was very happy at the expense of her father's husband's credulity. So was very happy at the expense means how innocent her husband was. He was thinking and he was become very happy. All of which did not prevent him from scurrying at the door at the postman's knock. But whether she was thinking or not, it could not stop her from hurrying to the door to open the door as the postman had knocked, to find only that the post had brought a tailor's bill. But he could find that the post had brought what? A tailor's bill. She expected something that might be money had arrived, but it was not like that. Herbert will have some more of his funny remarks, I expect, when he comes back, she said as they sat for dinner. As they sat down to eat, they thought that Herbert would come back and he would be placing some funny remarks. I dare say, said Mr. White, but the thing moved in my mind, and that I will swear to. So he said that he would promise he had seen that the monkey's paw moving in his hand. His wife made no reply. She was the mysterious movements of a man outside. 3 times he paused at the gate, and then with a sudden resolution he flung it open and walked up the path. So his wife made no reply. Then they were talking, gossiping, and they made no reply. What happened? She was watching, means when they were having dinner, were preparing or sitting for dinner, she could watch what? The mysterious movements of a man. A man was moving in a very mysterious manner outside. 3 times he paused at the gate, 3 times he stopped at the gate, and then with a sudden resolution, then with a sudden decision, he just flung the gate open and walked up by the path. He just came upon the path.